Despite bans in many countries, Britain still allows hunters to bring back so-called trophy kills, exotic animals like lions and cheetahs killed so their heads can be hung on walls. Now, though, a campaign's underway for Parliament to legislate to ban the practice. Earlier, my colleague Dermot Murnahan spoke to the explorer Sir Ranulph Fiennes and founder of the campaign to ban trophy hunting, Eduardo Gonçalves. Sir Ranulph told Dermot about the reception his argument got from parliamentarians.
They should ban trophy hunting. They should stop it being illegal to bring in trophies, in very often of almost extinct creatures that they're shooting for fun. The trophy hunter shooters would be shooting for fun. Britain is one of the 10 main offenders. Obviously, the United States is the biggest. But even in the United States, they are banned from bringing in things like cheetahs. Here, they're not banned. France, Australia, Holland, they've all banned it, not the British. Why not? We've got multi-attendance today at Parliament of many different parties. All the main different parties came in. OK, don't agree over Brexit. This is something which they totally agree over. And what we want is it to happen quickly, because lions are dwindling very rapidly. In 10 years, gone from 450,000 wild lions counted up scientifically, and that was in 1955. By 2014, when they did the next similar check, they were right down to 20,000, not 450,000. And that is being increased by the trophy hunting. Some argument is that by the trophy hunting they stopped the wild lions being done. It's a load of rubbish. Places like Tanzania and Kenya, who have realised that the more lions and elephants and other wild things there are, the more money they make, and then they can pay for anti-poaching patrols and conservation and get the local people interested in making money through nature, not through killing.
But there is that argument, isn't there, put forward, Eduardo Gonçalves, that if there is going to be some kind of culling or something going on, they might as well make some money out of it and allow one of these people to shoot a lion or an elephant or whatever.
But trophy hunting isn't culling, it's not population management. Trophy hunting is when people go and shoot an animal purely for the entertainment value, the pleasure, the amusement that they get out of it. And it's a very live issue right now, because it's actually the 4th anniversary of the shooting of Cecil the lion this week. And that caused a lot of...
By the American dentist.
Precisely, by Walter Palmer. Now, what a lot of people don't realise is that, well, they thought perhaps that things had died down after that, it was a one-off. In fact, just that year, another 2,292 lion trophies were taken by hunters, and there have been thousands since 2015. So this is a major issue, and we do now have this extraordinary factory farming industry of lions, where they're bred and kept in captivity just so that they can be shot in enclosures, all their bones then being used to be sold off to shady Asian traders who turn them into lion wine and lion cake with supposedly medicinal benefits, which of course is completely phony.
Well, Sir Ranulph, we also hear of this awful practice of, I mean, is this a branch of it, of canned hunting, they call it? I mean, basically you've got fences up and the wild animal can't really get away.
If you're wanting trophies to stick on your sitting room wall, you can do it much more cheaply by getting onto one of the 300 South African farms. That's what they are. They are farms to breed from lionesses that are captive, as many, preferably male lions, because they look better on the wall. And these females, when they've had their male cubs, they're taken away as quickly as possible so they can breed again. And then when the lionesses are killed, they're turned into bone for fictional medicines and other things like that, which is not in any way numerically helping the wild lions. They might be trying to say, well, look, if we have trophy hunters doing it, then the real wild lions. That's not the case. Numerically, they're carrying on right now, right up until today, killing just as many of the wild lions. And in some places where they've been doing it, there are now, the trophy hunters can't find any lions because they've killed them all. And the same goes for the elephants. And they're going for the giraffes and zebras as well, to stick on their family sitting room wall.
So, Eduardo, I mean, let's be practical about this. You said you got a good reception from parliamentarians from all parties today. What prospect do you feel that there will be a law passed in the UK fairly soon? And what difference would it make in reality?
I think it would make a lot of difference. I think if the UK were to say, right, we're not going to allow the import of hunting trophies into the country anymore, that would send a huge signal to South Africa in particular. It would affect public opinion, political opinion there. And in return, it would also affect the political opinion in the neighbouring states where a lot of trophy hunting goes on. I do think this is something that is eminently feasible and desirable. I was actually in a meeting with Michael Gove, the DEFRA Minister, just a few weeks ago. And there was even one or two representatives of the hunting industry in that room. And everyone agreed that there should be a ban on the import of canned lion trophies. Now, given that almost every single lion trophy that comes into Britain, certainly since about 2014, is from one of these lion factory farms, that would be a huge step forward. It's something that every politician of every political stripe seems to agree with, and certainly the British public do. So it seems extraordinary that our government hasn't yet done anything.
And is it possible, gentlemen, to rank this practice in terms of the effect it has on these endangered species? Because, of course, we know of the other pressures, climate change, humans encroaching on the land, all kinds of other factors. But how big is this?
The fact remains that the things you've just mentioned, the climate change and all that, to fight those and therefore help those and animals being affected by them is a very difficult thing to do. What we're talking about is dead simple, can be done quickly like they've done in France.
Well,
And it's also a question of quantity and quality. So there's large numbers of lions, for example, that have been taken. It's been shown in a number of studies, and the US Congress actually published a report about this not that long ago, which showed that lion populations in a number of southern African countries had directly suffered as a result of trophy hunting. But on top of that, because the trophy hunters are going for the animals with the biggest manes, they're the biggest, strongest animals, or the elephants with the biggest tusks, so they're the strongest of the species. So what that means is they're taking those animals out of the gene pool. And we're now seeing two things. We're seeing elephants with shorter tusks, which is a signal of the deterioration of the gene pool of the elephant species. We're also seeing lions have lost 15% of their genetic diversity in the last century. And scientists have warned that if only 5% of the remaining adult males are shot by trophy hunters, that could push the species beyond the brink of no return.